Hey, what's going on, guys? Indy here with Ultimate Tour Reviews. This is one of those tools that I had one in the past. I had the Milwaukee M12 inspection camera. It was kind of meh, it did help me in a few cases. When I was working in a client's house, I had to run some cables down a wall. I was able to see a fire block, but the resolution was pretty poor, camera was pretty poor, light was not great on it. It really didn't do anything like amazing, other than, of course, work on the M12 batteries. But Teslong has sent me their all-new 7-inch inspection camera. This is going to be a 7-inch HD IPS screen. It's got a flashlight. This thing is quite a bit more than what it looks like here on the surface here. There's a lot more to this inspection camera, and I'm just amazed at how far these inspection cameras have come for the price you can get this thing for. So let's pop this thing open and see what is inside. Of course, we get a nice hard case here. This is a pretty durable, solid case. This thing can definitely be thrown around and really have no issues at all. All right, so right in the box as we open this thing up, of course, we're going to have the actual inspection camera. We've got about, I think it's like 17, 18 feet of inspection cable here, which is super long. The nice thing is it is detachable, so if you run into an issue where you got to like wind it back up again, you can just detach it from the screen there, and it's not too big of an issue. Also in the box here, we've got a manual, and we've got this really cool little pieces here that snap on the end. Not really snap on the end, but check this out. All right, right on the end here of this camera, you can actually unscrew this little piece here and either screw on a hook attachment, or you can screw on a magnet attachment, which is super useful. If you're working inside like an engine bay, somewhere really tight, and you drop something, this is awesome to have. I mean, you need to get something out of like a cylinder head, screw this on with a camera, and this is not going to be blocking your camera at all. You got access to both cameras on here, and of course you've got access to the head, which has a magnet on, which is awesome. That is a really, really cool design. However, you probably won't be able to use that front camera too well with the magnet head there, as that is going to be blocking most of your camera, unfortunately. All right, so this camera is pretty unique. We've got camera A, which is going to be right here on the tip there. We've got camera B, and we've also got camera C, which is on the other side. Yeah, this thing has 3 cameras on it, which is pretty wild. I wasn't even aware inspection cameras could do that nowadays, which is pretty cool. Putting 3 cameras on this thing is really, really tiny here. Let's see how thick that head is on here. So if you're wondering how small this is on here, let's see here. Head distance, we are going to be 0.33 inches. That is about 1/3 of an inch there, and that thing is really tiny. All right, before we pop this thing on and get this thing working here, just wanted to bring in a few things I noticed in the instruction manual here. Your charge time is about 3.5 hours, run time is about 4 hours. Not unexpected for the size of this thing. Of course, you get a big screen, it's going to use up power pretty quick. I was curious if it actually was HD. So the monitor resolution itself is not HD, but the video and image resolution is HD, at 1920 by 1080. So be aware that you can take photos in HD, you can use the app to stream it to your phone, iPad in HD, but what you see on the monitor is not going to be HD. You also have that 180-degree image rotation, which I'll show you as well too. That's pretty much it. This thing is pretty simple, pretty straightforward to use. Only real notes there are just kind of your run time, and of course knowing that it's not HD displayed on the monitor, but it can display it on your phone. All right, so we have it on now. We are looking at camera A, which is going to be our camera that is facing right out of the end of that inspection camera there. So the trick now is, of course, this is going to be your picture button right here. We just took a photo. You can hear it click. If you hold it down, though, that'll transfer us to our next camera, camera B there. And then we've got camera C. And then, of course, if we want to view split screen, we can view multiple cameras at the same time, like camera A and B. We can also do camera A and C, which is pretty cool. So we've got a couple options there. I'm going to go back to camera A here, and that's how we can view multiple cameras. I've got a little project on my truck, my Ram out there, and I'll show you what we're trying to do here. There's a little spot in the front sides of the truck, right by the windshield, that often gets stuck with debris. Not really a great way to get in there, but this inspection camera, I can kind of show you what's going on in there. So I'll show you a real-life example of this camera right now. All right, there. So we are up now, kind of in the area where I had some debris before. Looks like we got no debris there now, which is great. It's kind of hard to see. It's a little bit of glare right now on the screen, but I'm looking at camera B right now, and it's totally black, meaning that, of course, we're up against in a tight area here. Pretty cool to be able to see, different sides of that camera there. I can also continue to scroll through the cameras. Here is A and C, which is going to be I think it's my right side is how that works. B is my left side. So I can scroll through all the camera angles, which is awesome, and even go to a full-size A camera there. All right, check out something that has a little more detail here. I'm going to get up in this caliper here, and check this out. I am in between my brake rotor and brake pad. That is pretty cool to be able to get all the way in there. I can actually see the brake clips right there that hold in that pad there. Very cool with the amount of detail I can get with this little inspection camera here. Well, guys, at the end of the day, I think Teslong really nailed this one. Only two small complaints I've got. I wish it also included maybe a smaller camera on here. I know it's awesome to have, 18, 19, 20 feet of inspection cable on here, but having something like 6 feet would also be really handy to have too, because you got to wind this whole thing back up to get it back in the box. And then secondly, I wish this button here was a bit more clear when it came to changing cameras. When you pull it out of the box, there is a note right here that says, hey, to change cameras, hold down this button. I just wish it was a little bit more intuitive. Maybe like a touchscreen would be kind of cool to actually have that in the future. But other than that, guys, this thing is awesome. And I feel like this thing is going to be super handy to have here to be able to continue, look at, stuff you need to find and be able to be like, yeah, I can't really see in there, but now I can. And especially having 3 cameras on this thing is super handy to have. It's one of those things where you don't know how useful it is until you finally pick one up. This thing is absolutely amazing. I was hesitant in a couple of years back to pick one up because I really didn't know what I was looking for or what I wanted. I was kind of just trying to stick to some of the bigger brands. But Teslong, this thing is awesome. This thing totally blew me out of the water by just how well this thing performs. Quality images, taking photos. 3 cameras really surprised me. Had no idea you could do that now. And this thing is tiny, but the cable is very stiff, so you can really put this into places where you really couldn't get cameras in before. So really happy with this, guys. Check this out. I'll leave a link in the description. Thanks for watching. Take care.